So recent policy reforms in the United States have focused on keeping low-level offenders away from the criminal justice system. And some examples of these reforms are efforts to scale back prosecution or even decriminalize offenses, low-level offenses altogether. And if these policies are successful, that means we might see a decrease in admission of these low-level non-violent offenders in the criminal facilities, in the correctional facilities. And this decrease in admissions might change the number of inmates and also the composition of who actually ends up going in. So the research question that I'm trying to answer is how these leniency policies that aim to divert low-level offenders from prisons, how will that affect the size and composition of the incarcerated population, and then therefore the incarceration experience and maybe the likelihood of reoffending. So to answer this question, I will be using the decriminalization and legalization of recreational marijuana. I will leverage this staggered adoption across states, and I will be using a differences design. And we do find that recreational marijuana laws affect prisons by altering the flow and composition of inmates. First of all, we see a decrease in the flow of inmates. Less people are going in prisons and going out. There is a decrease, as expected, in the share of drug offenders, and this is compensated by an increase in the share of violent and property offenders. Now, at the same time, the average sentence and time served increases, meaning whoever goes in stays in for longer. Therefore, there is a decrease in the flow. And when it comes to demographics, we see an increase in the share of minorities, and also the average age of the inmates increases. Now, when it comes to the effect on incarceration, this whole shift in the composition and size of population results in a 16% increase in reincarceration within 2 years of release, and this is due to changes in the incarceration experience. And this is primarily driven by people who are incarcerated for their first time.